Welcome to Gathering Manna, quick practical steps to nourish your soul. I'm Carter.
And I'm Scott. We're so grateful that you've decided to take a moment and check out this episode. And we actually have something pretty fun in store for us today. Maybe you've seen it before, but we're going to have a dad joke showdown, especially in honor of Father's Day this coming Sunday. And so here's, I guess, some of the ground rules. You want to explain some of them first?
Sure. So we're each going to tell 3 dad jokes. And if I can make you laugh, I get a point. If you can make me laugh, you get a point.
Right.
And at the end, whoever laughs the most loses.
Cool. So this might be a tie because we're both suckers for dad jokes. So we don't know how this is gonna work out. So here we go.
So I've got 5 or 6 years of dad experience on you in the realm of dad jokes. So I'm gonna let you take the wheel. I'll let you take the first one.
Have the first one. Okay.
Yeah, be gracious.
Let me compose myself a little bit as it started. I'm laughing. Okay. Hey, you heard I just became a father, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. He had to come out because he was running out of womb.
I can't. All right.
We both lost.
All right. So that's one for you. Okay. All right. So I got a new job, a part-time gig at the guillotine factory.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll be heading there soon.
I almost held it. All right. We got a tie going here. Hey, how do you know if a wedding is truly beautiful?
How?
If the wedding cake is in tears.
Got me. All right. Hey, you know that they've got that helium plant up in Amarillo?
Oh, okay.
You heard about that? They've got it's just a huge factory full of bottles of helium. My buddy got a job up there. Mm-hmm. He only lasted 2 days. He couldn't stand being spoken to in that tone of voice.
All right. That's good. So, do you know what Forrest Gump's Facebook password is?
What?
1 Forrest 1. All right. Dad jokes.
All right. Last one.
Here we go.
So since COVID-19 hit, you and I have been having to wear our masks with our glasses, right?
Right.
I hear that we're both entitled to condensation. I can't.
I held it.
You got it. You're the winner. Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah, so dad jokes. Obviously, we have a funny bone for both of us have a funny bone for dad jokes. But to get to more of a serious aspect of this episode, last week we talked about this idea of prayer as a discipline, and we started talking about this specific prayer that we see in Scripture, titled typically the Lord's Prayer. This was a prayer given to us by Jesus himself. And so we wanted to take a few of these episodes and walk through this prayer because Jesus literally said, he said, this is how we should pray. And so we want to take really our notes from him and kind of explore what it looks like to pray.
Yeah. So we're going to start with just the first 2 words today in that prayer. The first 2 words are our Father. And whenever we see this, the beauty that exists there is Jesus, for the first time really, is inviting us to see God as our Father. In the Old Testament, there is very infrequent use of Father as a descriptor for God. Mm-hmm. And so when Jesus is teaching his disciples on the Sermon on the Mount, he goes back to this phrase your Father or our Father throughout the sermon. And in this prayer, he tells us to go to God as our Father. So what does it mean for us to call God Father?
Right. And I think that's a great question. In looking up, kind of researching a little bit of this, we found a quote that we really liked, and it's by a pastor. His name is Timothy Keller, and it reads like this. It says, "The only person who dares wake up a king for a glass of water at 3 a.m. is a child. We have that kind of access." Now, just think of the implications of this quote and what that means. The king, the sovereign of a land, somebody who no one's supposed to really ask anything of. And yet someone would come and dare wake him up at 3 a.m. to ask for something so simple, a glass of water. And yet a child could do that. His child could do that. And whenever we look at God as our Father, and looking at us as his children, that's the level of access we have because of Christ. I love in Ephesians chapter 3, it has a scripture here starting in verse 12, or just verse 12. And it's talking about Jesus and what Jesus has done through his grace and through his great work, the gospel message. And it says this: "In him and through faith in him, we may approach God with freedom and confidence." This is kind of depicting the access that we have to God. Really, it's with freedom we get to freely go to God at any time in the day. We get to go to, imagine that, the creator of the universe, the one who literally assembled atoms and molecules and us, and he's intentionally ruling and guarding and protecting and loving this creation. We get to go to him at any moment, at any time, and we have freedom to do so. And not only that, it says here we have confidence as well. Confidently we can go. We don't have to go just like meekly, not making eye contact, or, well, God, you probably don't want to, listen to what I have to say. No, we can boldly and confidently, because of Jesus, go to God as our Father and access him to the fullest extent. And what a privilege I think that is. So today, we want to talk about that first practical step, or that practical step for this episode. And it's simply this: unplug and go take a walk with your Father. Now, right now, we're oversaturated a little bit with media and social media, things going on in our culture. And there's some good merit to that. We're not saying just totally ignore what's going on in our culture, but there is good merit in retreating a little bit. And we just want to encourage you to access your Father. So we just encourage you, put down your phone, your devices, leave it at home, exit your house, and go take a walk around the block. And just go spend some time with your Father.
Yeah. And it's okay. It's okay if at points in that you don't know what to say. I'll tell you, one of the greatest things about being a dad is whenever my girls just need me. I've got two little girls, Amelia and Brighton, and whenever they're playing together and doing things together, it's great. But there's something amazing about them putting their toys down and just needing their dad, and just sitting down and reading a book together, just being together, and they don't have the articulation to say everything that they need or they want, but as their Father, I have a sense of what they need. And so does God for you. We can go to our Father with full confidence that I don't need to have all the words to say, that God knows my heart. In Romans chapter 8, verses 26 through 27, it says, "In the same way, the Spirit helps us in our weakness. We do not know what we ought to pray for, but the Spirit himself intercedes for us through wordless groans. And he who searches our hearts knows the mind of the Spirit, because the Spirit intercedes for God's people in accordance with the will of God."
It's so good, man. Romans just really, I think, captures that. You're right. Sometimes we don't know what to say. if it's been a hard day or whatever, but there's still someone on our behalf accessing God for us. And that's such good news. So we just thank y'all. Thank you for joining us for this episode. This has been Gathering Manna, and we just want to encourage you, get outside your tent today.